the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. We're putting on the National Speed Association Killer Pro Series presented by V-Speed right here tonight at Bristol. It is Bristol, baby, and we are ready to go, firing up for this short track action. Just a little over a half a mile long, big time banking. And we've got track temperature at 90 degrees, an air temperature of 85, and that's not the whole story. During practice, these guys are seemingly having a difficult time keeping these cars on the track. We'll talk about that more as we progress. My name is Chris. With me, as always, my good friend Rick. Rick, how are you tonight, bud?
I'm doing good, buddy. Happy Monday. One day down. Here we are once again. We're at a really good track, man. I mean, I know that, we like Iowa and stuff like that, but Bristol's one of my favorite tracks, man. I mean, the high banks, it's fast. The last great Coliseum, it's noisy. And like you said, these guys are having some issues already tonight.
Yeah, practice not going as smoothly as we would anticipate. But that said, we have had some pretty impressive times on top of the speed chart so far. Dalton Tucker, a 14.729, right behind him, Chris Stump, last week's winner. A 14.741, so very close top lap times between the top two drivers, as we are about 3 minutes and 40 seconds before hitting the qualifying effort. Let's go ahead and take a look at those point standings, because they certainly did change after last week. Dalton Tucker remains the points leader. Chris Stump, a huge jump and a huge throw of momentum his way. As I mentioned already, he won last week. Now sitting in second spot, Todd Sargent. Sitting in third, Jared Mogard fourth, and Charles Widner in fifth spot. Behind them, Josh Mayhew, Douglas Hess, Keith Dunn, James McIntyre, and Doug Wasaki rounding out the top 10 in points. Over on the other side, in 11th, it's Adam Pettit, Justin McDuff, Matthew McLean, Wesley Whitfield, and Tommy Haynes rounding out the top 15. 16 through 20, it's Stephen Page, Calvin Allison, Jamie Christensen, AJ Hamill, and Fluffy Garrett. So that is the points coming into tonight. But short track action. Sure to change some of that around a little bit more. Short track action. Rick, sometimes somebody can say short track temper.
I was going to say the tempers are going to be flaring tonight, I'm sure, by the end of this one, Chris. I mean, it's going to be a good time here. We got, it's Bristol. We're under the lights. What more can you ask for? I mean, we're here with the A cars. I mean, they look a little slick out there tonight. I mean, that track temperature fell down another degree. It's about 89 degrees, so not too bad. But man, these things are just getting sideways.
Well, following Dalton Tucker around the little half-mile speedway. 24 seems to be getting around pretty good, but even he has had a couple of issues where that back end just kind of kicked out and around he went. So this could be something that plagues these guys for the entire night, and something that we have to talk about, because it's a story. These guys have to be able to keep them going straight, or nobody's going to win this one. So we'll keep an eye out on that. So far, it looks like about 22 drivers have joined the server. Not sure if they're all going to race or not. Certainly a couple haven't been on track for a little while, or two of them haven't even been out at all. So something to watch for. Stephen Page going to roll his one out for that last 1 minute of practice. Things will start to settle down here in about a minute. Then we'll get ready for the qualifying efforts, and we're going to be looking for that 14.7 to take a pole. You're going to have to hit the track just right, because it has changed since the beginning of practice. These guys lining them up, waiting for that blue line. Then they'll pull them out on track when there's an opening. There's a big run of cars out there to do essentially what's going to end up being a lap, maybe a lap and a half.
Get out there, get a little bit of a pit party going on, Chris. Not a bad idea. I mean, one thing I love about Bristol, man, it is high banked. I mean, those turns, they're crazy out there. I mean, like I said, half-mile track, the turns goes anywhere from 26 degrees to 30 degrees, and then the straights are between 6 and 10 degrees. So very fast here in Bristol, and you know, these guys, it's going to be a lot of pack style racing here tonight, especially at the beginning. So you know, guys are going to be trying to find their lane. Unfortunately, we can't put down the sticky track down. See the 9 getting into, I think that was the 95.
Yeah. And
I mean, that's what we're looking for. Practice is over.
We're going to see that tonight. I believe these cars are very, very tight. When they try and correct, they go around, so they snap loose. And that's just what we're going to see, I'm afraid. But we'll see if this straightens it out just a little bit. Switching over into qualifying. Track temperature now 88. Air temperature 85. So not a big change there. As we are on board Bruce Potter in the 59. And already sideways is the 59. So we'll kick over to the 88. And that's Matthew McLean. Again, this track very tight tonight, and you can tell. Well, I've seen a lot of drivers diamonding the turns here, which is a pretty good indicator of just how tight these cars are. And you can do that if you're out there by yourself. If you're running 2x2, you don't have a shot to do that. If you do, you'll go backwards. So McLean so far with the pass time. As we drop the qualifying board down, 14, 863, Bruce Potter, 15, 103. Those are the only two drivers that have been out. And then Todd Sargent proves me wrong, taking the pole in the 87, a 14, 842. Al Smith in the 96, slowly crawling out onto the track.
Gotta let those tires warm up. Gotta go a little faster though. I think he thinks that he's on 89 or something, but I don't know what's going on there. He's making a qualifying lap though, hanging it tight right to the bottom.
Yeah, very, very good line out of the 96 machine, holding it down to the bottom of the track. And we switch over to Jamie Christensen, who's just come to a dead stop. Dale Albright, he's trying to qualify. He's got that 26 machine up and running. So far, he's got a 4th place speed. 14.936 as he crosses that start-finish line. Second lap a little slower. So Albright right now in 4th position. Doug Hess, we saw him already come out. 14.919, good enough for 3rd. And Al Smith is still cruising around this track at some hellacious speeds. Qualifying right now with a 35.778. Just unbelievable speed out of that 96 machine, blistering this track. Stephen Page in the 1 car out there to try and get it done. Page done with his warm-up lap. Now this one counts, and he is letting it all hang out. A little sideways coming out of 1 and 2 into 3 and 4 now. And the 1 has a nice line out of 3 and 4. Good enough for a 14. 747 and the pole. So that's about what I was thinking for a pole time there, that 14.7. Ian McDuff, both in that time range, and they are the front row right now. Last week's winner, Chris Stump, out on track, the 98, looking like he's going to try and qualify.
Now, one thing about this track, Chris, and I noticed a little bit about practice, we see some sparks fly off in 98 there as he heads into 1 down the backstretch. You got to be careful when you're getting out of 4 because there is a little bump kind of midway up, and you just saw it right there. It will bottom out the car a little bit. These cars riding low tonight. And if you got somebody behind you right on your back bumper, that can spell disaster right there.
14.702, good enough to put Stump to the pole. And into the wall. James McIntyre in the 81 looking to try and qualify his machine. This is the first of his hot laps with about 46 seconds left to go in qualifying. (15.254) the first lap time for McIntyre. 15266. Funny though, not being scored.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was like, wait a minute.
So it looks like Chris Stump with the 14-702 with the hot shoe here tonight. Stump going to take the pole as we get ready to send these guys under the green flag. Let's get ready to look at the grid. Starting on the pole tonight, driver of the number 98, that's Chris Stump. To his outside, the driver of the number 24, current points leader, Dalton Tucker. Inside row number 2, starting in third spot tonight, the driver of the number 1, that's Stephen Page. On his outside, starting in fourth position, it's the number 20 of Justin McDuff. Starting in fifth place tonight, on the inside of the third row, in his number 87, it's Todd Sargent. On the outside row, number 3, driver of the number 88, that's Matthew McLean. In seventh position, driving the 00, that's Jared Mogard. And to his outside, row number 4, the driver of the number 25, that's Douglas Hess. In ninth position, driver of the number 26, Dale Albright, with Jamie Christensen starting in 10th spot in his number 9. Rick and Trey Hoovler going to start his 90 and 11th spot. Bruce Potter, 12th in his number 59.
Then we got Josh Mayhew in the 00, going to be starting 13th in row number 7. Al Smith Jr. qualified the 96th and 14th. Row number 8 is going to be the 28 of Calvin Allison. And next to him is going to be the 17 of Tommy Haynes. AJ Hamill qualified the 18th and 17th position. Next to him is the 95 of Charlie Whitner. And then in 19th, we got Wesley Whitfield in the 74. Doug Wysocki going to be qualified in 20th in the 45 machine. We got the 81 of James McIntyre in 21st. AJ Fluffy Garrett qualifies that 35 and 22nd, Chris. And rounding out the field, bringing up the shotgun position is going to be the 57 of Adam Pettit in 23rd.
23 drivers set and ready to go. As we get ready to send these cars under the green flag. Going to be a blistering one here tonight, I believe. So fast. 14 seconds to go a half a mile, Rick. Can you imagine?
It is blistering speeds, and they got the right pace car for it out there tonight. They got the 2019 Porsche 911.
Chris Stump wasting not a lot of time. He hits the loud pedal, and it sends everybody under the green flag. Stump to the inside, holding on to the lead. Dalton Tucker with a very big tight condition. Heads up towards the wall, but able to hold on. Justin McDuff in third. Stephen Page fourth. Matthew McLean holding on to fifth. He's doing it on the outside early on. Behind him, though, Jared Mogard, Todd Sargent battling it out for position. So all the way back to the 6th and 7th spot before he goes too wide. Behind them, Douglas Hess has got a good shot of everything that's happening, though. He backs it down just a little bit.
While you're watching that, but we have a new race leader. Yep.
Caution.
Dalton Tucker able to get around Chris Stump there.
Not sure the call on this one. We'll have to go back and take a peek, see if we can find it.
Yeah, the 26 got kind of sideways there. Doug Wysocki got into the side of him, it looked like.
I think it may have happened.
May have happened a little before.
Before that, yeah. Oh, Wysocki. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure here. 26 was sideways. I believe it was Wasaki that brought that caution out. And very early on here, lap 6, we find ourselves under the caution.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I saw Albright in the 26. He kind of went sideways there, Chris. Like he really got on the brakes really quick. And Doug Wasaki just came around that corner, had nowhere to go.
And Rick, you had called it out as the caution was happening, but new race leader Dalton Tucker in the 24 able to get around Chris Stump.
Yeah, I was watching there as you're going down through the field, Chris, and basically all that happened was Chris Stump stayed up a little high. The 24 kind of peaked and said, hey, I can make this thing stick down here right now. We got some fresh tires, so I'm going to try it. And it worked out for him. He was able to go right around the 98. Dalton Tucker and the Napa Know-How Napa Batteries number 24. The new race leader.
So one lead change amongst the two drivers. Action does happen very, very quick here.
It's going to be hard for us to keep it all. I mean, there's a good number of cars on the track. It's almost perfect there. They got 22 cars that started. Wesley Whitfield in the number 74 did not start the race tonight. That would have been car number 23.
One and two in the points, 1 and 2 on the track right now. Funny how that sometimes happens.
These guys are going to make it a good season, Chris. I mean, they're both very strong competitors. They're both very good in these A cars. Pretty much everybody out there, though. I mean, all these drivers, we know a lot of them. We know them from the short track side, though, so they get their hands full this season. But they're getting these things down, man. They're putting out some really good racing here on a Monday night.
Yeah, a much heavier vehicle than they're used to driving around. A lot more horsepower. As the pace car drops down, we're getting set to go again. Dalton Tucker restarting from the outside. A good restart from Tucker, leaving everybody behind, including Chris Stump. Ooh, the one gets into the walls. That's Stephen Page. That's going to stack him up behind him just a little bit. The 20 with Justin McDuff looking to the inside, trying to take advantage. Can't do it that time by the 87 of Todd Sargent. Hanging out on the outside, getting a little tight, and we've got a blinker, and we got one going around one more time. I believe that was Bruce, not Bruce Potter.
Tommy
17.
Haynes,
Yeah, Tommy Haynes. Haynes was able to keep it going straight, but losing a ton of time on track as he is trying to build that speed back up. Dalton Tucker still your race leader. Chris Stump holding on to second spot, but Stephen Page trying to catch the back bumper, and he's doing it on the high side right now. Todd Sargent running in fourth, McDuff in fifth, and then we've got a little bit of a cluster of cars here, the 25 and the 88. And we'll throw the 00 in there of Mogard. Mogard trying to make the inside work. Maybe a little early for that.
I'd like to see a few more laps go down, maybe a little bit more rubber there, Chris, but you can definitely do it, especially with fresh tires. But I kind of like these guys that are running the mid to high lane. That's really where the speed is there at the beginning of a race.
25 goes around. That's Douglas Hess. And Hess able to bounce off the wall and keep it going, but we do fall under caution. So Doug Hess going for a little bit of a ride. We'll go back and take a peek. We're watching the 25 as he comes out of the turn and maybe gets on the throttle just a little too hard. Goes across the start-finish line, able to get it going back again. And the pace car comes out. Just want to check something real quick here because as the 90 gets a back bumper to the 35. The 90 up into the wall. Oh, and the 35 bounces off the wall and into Wasaki. So Wasaki damaged hard too in that whole thing. And I believe that's the actual thing that brought the caution out. So lap 17, here we are under caution for the second time tonight. This race may become a battle of attrition if these guys are not able to figure out this setup. It's tough. These cars are much heavier than they're used to driving normally, and that makes them want to push up towards the wall. Natural reaction is to give it a little bit more gas to try and get away from that wall, and when you do that, Rick, you go around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've already seen it. It is very, very tight out there. And when we say tight, I mean, the cars are also loose too, because they're just sliding all over the place. But as they get some laps out on these tires, I think that's going to straighten out there a little bit.
Well, let's go over that a little bit. So these cars are tight, but they snap loose. So when you're trying to correct for that tightness, and you turn that wheel a little bit more, trying to get that car to turn, all of a sudden it gets to a tipping point and the right rear loses its grip and around the car goes. Snap loose. So caution is out for the second time here tonight. Dalton Tucker had a really good restart that last time, and he did it on the outside. I believe he's going to go ahead and stay out there, and why not? It was working really well for him, and right now that's where the traction is. I think the inside line may come in, but it's not going to happen in the first 25, 30 laps of this race. It's going to be a little later on before these guys can really battle side by side. And it's going to take a couple of brave souls to work their way down to the bottom to get the rubber where it needs to be on track. Nonetheless, pace car lights are off. We're heading down the backstretch and getting set to go to green flag once again. Porsche drops down on the track, off from the track, and Tucker wastes no time. He is gone. And this time, Todd Sargent getting a good restart from the second row, taking over second spot from Chris Stump. And here comes the 88 of McLean. McLean firing off a good restart. So Chris Stump loses a couple.
Yeah, both those guys working that lane very well, Chris. Working it together, too. Like you said, Sargent able to get around. Chris Stump brought McLean with him. Now Chris Stump's got Page right underneath him there on the inside. He's going to lose another spot. Here comes a 20.
Oh, Page goes into the inside retaining wall, back out on track, and caution comes out. Caution 3. And that was exactly what I was just talking about. Let's go back and take a look. So we're watching the one, that's Stephen Page diving into that corner on the inside. And you see him have to turn left just a little bit more because he was starting to float up. And that was the wrong move because around he went. And just enough of the car out on track sideways to bring out that caution flag. And here it is again, third time in this very young race.
You know, that's what we're talking about, Chris. I mean, it's kind of funny. I used to hate it when people say, well, the track's tight, but it's loose. I'm like, well, which is it? Because that's contradicting itself. But, you know, I mean, just like what we saw Page, you know, he got tight. He overcorrected just a little bit, which just kicked that car loose. And that's something that, you know, these guys got to remember. Got to take it nice and easy here for the first, you know, it's going to take about 50 laps or so. You got to get some rubber down on that track. One having a hard time getting into his pit stall, had to back up, pull forward, back up again. Pit crew not happy with him right now.
keep that up and they're going to start eating ice cream.
Well, Chris, it looks like the first car has retired out of this race besides Wesley Whitfield. We know the 74 didn't start the race tonight. Fluffy J.J. Garrett out there in the 35. He decided to pack it up, call it quits here in Bristol tonight.
That car not to his liking and kind of got involved with Wasaki a little bit. Decided to call it a night.
I mean, Bristol's one of the, it is a tough track to drive, but I have a lot of fun. I mean, obviously, you know, our hero Chris, way back when there, he was racing with Terry Labonte. Of course, we're talking about Dale Sr. He rattled his cage a little bit. And they still talk about that thing today. But I mean, I love Bristol, man. I got a couple of second place finishes here. Once in an Infinity car, or Xfinity car, and once in a SK modified. So I love this track. It's fun once you get used to it, and it just takes a little bit. I mean, these cars are fast, they're heavy, they have a lot of power. That's just something that they have to remember. They got to just like calm down just a little bit, let that rubber fall down on that track, open up that second lane, then they can go.
Well, speaking of going, pace car lights are still going. So we've got at least one more lap before those lights shut off and we get ready to fold these cars 2 by 2 and send them back under the green flag. Gonna try something a little different here, Rick. Maybe we're gonna change the look of some of these drivers, because when we go back to the green flag, we're not gonna say a word, but we are gonna crank it up.
Oh yeah.
And that should happen in a little bit more than a half a mile. And as the Porsche shuts down the lights, we get ready to go. This is the National Speed Association Killer Pro Series presented by V-Speed. Right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and we are getting set to crank it up. Getting it done on a Monday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Dalton Tucker, your race leader. He's led 34 laps of this event so far. In second spot, it's Jared Mogard in the 00. Todd Sargent in the 87, picking up third. Matthew McLean in the 88, running in fourth spot. Behind him, Chris Stump. Stump was just in pit road about 12 laps ago. Picked up a set of 4 tires, and he is making that bottom move right now with those new tires. So just about 25 laps differential on the tires and Stump, doing something that nobody else on track can unless they've got fresh tires. Rick, he is working the bottom line.
Yeah, and it really seems to be working for Stump. I mean, he was starting to fall back there, Chris, but he had to do something. I think he made the right call. I mean, of course, you know, as these laps tick down, those tires are going to wear away, but hey, he's in a good spot right now. And he's only got a few other drivers, you know, that are in that predicament that have those fresh tires, and that goes back all the way to 7th position. Calvin Ellison in that 28's got 16 laps on his set of tires. AJ Hamill sitting there in 8th and the 18th. He's only got 24. So just over half of what the rest of the guys have there. You got Widner, he's out there in the 95. He's got 17 laps. Tess came down. He's got 14 laps on his tires. So definitely, you know, it's going to help out those guys that really like those fresh tires because they can put that car wherever they want.
Yeah, and what we've seen already is it just doesn't last that long. These tires are getting beat up a little bit by the track, but the 28 of Allison still on that bottom side, trying to make it work. The 88 of McLean working back on the outside. And Rick, that's a battle that can go on for a couple of laps here. 28 does pull a little bit of an advantage, though, after a couple of laps of them going side by side like that. And the 28 does take position. So Calvin Allison pops himself into the top 5, running in 5th spot. A lot of different pit strategies being employed already here tonight, so it's going to be something to watch out for.
Well, I mean, that's what it's going to come down to, Chris. It's going to be pit strategy. It's going to be the guys who get those fresh tires on at the right moment. I mean, all those guys out there with those fresh tires, they're going to start seeing them fall off now. I mean, they got over 20 laps on that set.
Just a few minutes ago, we were talking about AJ Hamill. Now on pit road is the 18. Tough place to be on pit road when we're under green. He is down 2 laps already. Here's the race leader, the 24 of Dallin Tucker. And he has got some separation from second place runner Jared Mogard. Mogard running about a second and a half behind him in the 00. Todd Sargent holding on to 3rd. Rick, not sure what's going on with Hamill, but still being shown on pit road now for a little over a minute. And that's a little too long. Not sure if he had something happen and hit the eject button, but AJ Hamill still off track.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because we fall under caution now. I just saw the right side, now the left side up on Hamill's car, so I'm not exactly sure. Maybe he had to get a tow?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think. And still, we have to figure out what happened under that caution, so let's take a peek. It could be 87. Todd Sargent into the wall, but not enough there to bring out a caution. So relatively unsure of why that caution came out.
I went back a little further, Chris. I see the 95 facing the wrong way on the track. That's on lap 49 here. I think that's where it came out.
Let's see if I can get there. Here we go, the 95 and the 25 racing side by side. Widner is using the inside lane, having a little success down there. Touches the apron a little bit, and the 25 gets into the right side. So contact bringing out this caution. As we are a little over a fourth of the way done with this race. And now everybody has come down pit road. One guy who didn't come down this time through was Stephen Page in the 1. Page has been out there for about 28 laps on his tires.
It looks like he has the oldest set out there right now. Also, since I'm down here on pit road, it's so busy, Chris. I got to talk to the crews of the number 58 and the 96. They both packed it up. They're heading out of here, getting ready for next week. So Bruce Potter is going to be scored in 20th position. Al Smith Jr. in that 96 is going to be tagged as the 21st finisher here tonight.
So 4 of the original 23 have packed it up. The 74 of Wesley Whitfield did not start the race. A DNS for Whitfield in 23rd position. Stays out on track, goes around the pace car as the lights shut off to get a lap back. That's Adam Pettit.
This car looks like a little modified out there.
Yeah, he's missing some pieces. Pieces here aren't that important though, Rick. Definitely not an aerodynamic track. It's more about the steering and suspension. As long as those things are working and you have a little power under the hood, you know, you can finish well here.
I have a feeling there's going to be more cars here by the end of the night that are going to look like that, Chris.
Yeah, short track racing at its finest. As the pace car drops off, Dalton Tucker has control of the field, and he hits the loud pedal, taking it off. Mogard with a good start on the inside, trying to hold on to second spot. Stump was trying to get there, but unable to so far. It's Chris Stump, Todd Sargent battling for third, and Stump able to take it over. The 87 going backwards and may go back just a little bit more as Matthew McLean works the outside of the 87. It's the 87 and 88 side by side. Sargent looks like he may have just a little bit of an advantage. The 88 getting a little tight, floating up towards the wall. Back to side by side action. And once again, this for 4th spot as Chris Stump rubs into the wall. Oh, the 88 gets real loose all of a sudden, and McLean gets into the wall. And now the 28 of Calvin Allison going around the 88 as that side by side action broken up by the wall. That allows Todd Sargent to take over that 4th spot, and he has found the rear bumper of the 98 machine of Chris Stump. Stump touches the wall.
Well, you know, that outside lane, Chris, where everybody wants to be right now, that's where your car can hold on. I mean, I was just watching the 00 of Mogard there a few laps ago. He was actually putting pressure on the inside there of Dalton Tucker in the 24. And I was just going to comment about how beautiful iRacing has done with the sparks and everything. I mean, we're here under the lights range, so you really see them. And I was going to mention how Mogard, I mean, he's not going to have much of a right side tire with the way those, or right side of the car is the way those sparks are flying, but he decided to move up against that wall and start running that outside lane. I mean, obviously that's where you want to run if you want to try to save your tires for as long as you possibly can. Right now, the top 4 have about 11 laps on their tires. Allison sitting in 5th has 12, so, you know, these guys are pretty evened up right now. Stephen Page, he's out there with those old tires, 38 laps on those set of tires so far, Chris. The number 1 of Page sitting in 13th position.
Stephen Page just trying to run it out, stay on the lead lap, and maybe move himself up a little bit. Heavy damage to the front end of that one machine. So maybe keeping an eye on the oil temperature too. Up front though it is Dalton Tucker and Jared Mogard. Mogard staying right on the back bumper of the 24. Tucker so far leading 64 laps as they cross the start-finish line. Oh, Mogard gets in the wall pretty heavily there. Able to bounce back off and stay straight. This track has not been their friend at all tonight, and the track temperature rising back up, Rick. It's 92 degrees. That does not help a tight situation.
No, it doesn't. I was going to say that, you know, the drivers are definitely feeling that, Chris. I mean, it's funny because you talk to Drew Greer too. a lot of people are like, no, that doesn't make a difference. Well, it really does for the driver. And we're starting to see it out there too.
28 getting around Chris Stump. So Calvin Allison taking over third spot. Chris Stump sitting in fourth. And Todd Sargent in fifth spot. J Max sitting in sixth position. That's Justin McDuff. And the 88 McLean, we saw him get into the wall hard. He has fallen back to seventh position. A battle for eighth spot between Doug Hess and Josh Mayhew in the 02. Hess seems to have gotten the advantage there. And the 02 now finds himself with Jamie Christensen looking to the inside. Can't get there, so he falls back in line. They run single file through the corners.
Then you got James McIntyre Jr. in the 81, Chris. He's sitting in 11th position right now. He's trying to get up to the back bumper of Christensen there, so he's got a little bit of work to do. Right behind him is going to be the 17, Tommy Haynes, and that beautiful number 17 there. Stephen Page, we just talked about him. He's still hanging strong in 13th position there with those old tires. Trey Hubler in the 90, he's sitting in 14th. Then we got Dale Albright in the number 26 Patron machine, sitting in 15th position. Widner in the 95, he is sitting there in 16th. In 16th position, Doug Wysocki in the 45, hanging strong there in the 17th spot. Adam Pettit out there. His car is looking pretty mean out there with no hood or front bumper, man, but the 57 doing a good job. He's sitting there in 18th. And AJ Hamill, the Green Mountain Madman, and one of the admins here of the National Speed Association is still on pit road, Chris. He is about 30 laps down now, sitting in 19th. And of course, following guys here are no longer on track. Bruce Potter in the 59 going to be 20th. Al Smith Jr. 21st. JJ Fluffy Garrett in the 35 is going to be finishing here tonight in 22nd. And Wesley Whitfield in the 74 never started the race.
And it looks like we may have a battle brewing for the lead as Jared Mogard is finding some comfort on that lower lane. Mogard really getting close to the inside of the 24. If he can just get his car there, that'll upset the 24, not able to use the track like he has been. So Mogard putting up a challenge as we're trying to get around some lap down cars. Rosati also with a mean looking car. No fenders, no bumper.
Yeah, but he still has his hood. He's got a little work to do to catch up there to the 57.
Just trying to keep it cool here on a hot night in Bristol. Mogard refusing to go up and use the top lane. He is stuck on the bottom, and he's making it work.
Just
as I say that, boy, he gets sideways. Doesn't lose control, but has to let off the throttle to save his car. And that opens up a pretty good-sized lead to Dolan Tucker, 0.8 of a second. Calvin Allison just a little ways behind. In third spot, Chris Stump sitting there in fourth position. Justin McDuff in fifth, and rounding out that top five spot with the Arts Barbershop Toyota Camry. Matt McLean in the 88 sitting sixth. Josh Mayhew in the 02 in seventh spot. Doug Hess right behind him in the number 25, running in eighth position. Todd Sargent behind him in ninth. And Tommy Haynes in the 17 is rounding out the top 10 in that bang number 17. And Rick, it looks like he has gone bang a couple of times there. There's not a lot of straight sheet metal left on that thing.
No, I mean, number one, that's a beautiful paint job there, Mr. Haynes. Let me tell you, I'm as a painter, that one caught my eye tonight. I didn't know what bang was, and I know I've seen it in the stores, Chris, but I found out it's a sugar-free, or not sugar-free, but it's a low-sugar energy drink. Might be sugar-free. Quick research on it, so I was like, what is that? I know I've seen the name, then yeah. Never had one. But regardless, those colors looking really good there, especially under the lights here in Bristol.
Behind Haynes, it's James McIntyre Jr. in the 81, running in 11th spot. Stephen Page has moved up 1 spot into 12th. Jamie Christensen now holding on to 13th spot in his number 9 and going down a lap to your race leader, the 24 of Dalton Tucker. Now the 00 trying to get there as well. As Mogard looking to continue to close that gap, and he's done a little bit, Rick. He's brought back about 0.2 of a second here. So the gap right now, 0.65.
You know, we're used to seeing that 00 up where he's at, Chris, you know, going for the lead there. And, you know, every single race so far, that's where he ends up. Mogard been working hard here tonight. He started here 7th, fell down to 8th. Now he's sitting in his highest position. In 2nd, he's been there for a while. He's just got to try to find a way to catch up. He was catching up to Tucker. But then he lost it just a little bit. You know, he lost some momentum, but he was able to hang on, so that was good. Now he's just got to try to make that inside lane work, try to catch back up. Ooh, little wiggle again. Got a Mogard.
Mogard trying something different to try and catch the leader, and it almost caught him for a second time. Well, we're going to go through the field one more time. Your race leader, Dalton Tucker, started in 2nd spot tonight. Now the race leader, and has been for 91 laps so far of this race. Behind him, Jared Mogard. Rick just said his starting position was 7th. He fell back 1 spot and worked his way back up in the 2nd spot. Right now, a little bit of a gap to Dalton Tucker. About 0.516 is the call. Jamie Allison with a good run here tonight. He started in 15th position, and that's as low as he's been all night. He has worked his way up in the 3rd spot. Allison is making Bristol work for him. Chris Stump in the 98 was your pole sitter tonight. He fell back to 10th position before coming down pit road for the first time, and has slowly worked his way back up. Right now, Chris Stump running in 4th position. Justin McDuff started tonight in 4th position, fell back to 8th as his lowest. His highest position has been 3rd, and currently he's running in 5th position. The 88 of Matthew McLean started 6th place, fell 1, and then worked his way up to 3rd. We saw him get very loose and able to save it, but not before losing some position. Now finds himself in 6th as we have a driver that came down pit road or got slow, one or the other. Kind of missed what happened there. Doug Hess currently running in 7th position, and his number 25 has been as low as 18th, as high as 6th. Tommy Haynes in that 17, getting really tight up towards the wall and able to slow down enough to make that thing turn. He started in 16th position. Rick, right now, he's in 8th position.
And you got Todd Sargent in the 87th, Chris. He's sitting in 9th position right now. He started here tonight in 5th, dropped down to 11th as his lowest, and then worked his way back up to 2nd, and then sitting in 9th right now. Actually, he's got the 95 there. He's trying to work his way around the traffic to get his lap back. But that Todd Sargent, he's in the 87, sitting in 9th. The 1 car, Stephen Page, started here tonight in 3rd, fell down to 21st, worked his way back through the field in 10th position, and then number 1. James McIntyre Jr. in the 81, he started here tonight, 21st. That's his lowest. His highest has been 9th, sitting in 11th right now. That might change here, Chris, because he's got the number 9. Jamie. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Barn just went crazy there for a minute. No, that's good. McIntyre's going to stay there in 11th. Then 12th place is the 9 of Jamie Christensen. Christensen started here tonight in 10th, fell down to 13th, worked his way back up to 5th. Now he's sitting back in 11th. Josh Mayhew in the 02. He started here 13th. He's gotten up to 7th, sitting in 12th now in the 02. Al Albright in the 26th, sitting in 13th position. He started here 9th. Fell down to 20th, worked his way back up now, like I said, into that 13th position. Tommy Haynes in the 17, he's sitting there in 14th. We're under caution, Chris.
Caution on the track. And it looks like
It's
it may have
25.
been Widner.
Ooh.
As we're going to have to go back and take a peek, see what happened. So we're watching the 95. That's Charlie Widner.
Yeah, I think it really started there with the 25 of past Chris there. He was going around the corner, got really loose, slammed into the inside wall.
All right, we'll
And that's
move
where
up.
Widner got caught. Yeah, move up just a little bit.
Yeah, move up to the 25 and pass. We'll see crosses the start-finish line, heading into turns 1 and 2. Able to get down the back stretch pretty cleanly into 3 and 4. And yeah, just comes off the corner with a full acceleration. The 95 hard into the 25. And everybody else able to kind of make their way around the 25, doing the right thing, getting off track as quickly as possible, try and salvage everybody else's night. But that does bring out caution once again. Well, Don Tucker, after service, comes out. He resumes the race lead. Jared Mogard in second. Matt McLean third. Chris Stump going to come out in fourth position. And Justin McDuff going to round out the top 5 as we find ourselves under caution once again here from Bristol. But that was after a pretty long green flag run that time. So this track's starting to rubber in, and these guys getting a little bit more comfortable as we're a little over halfway done. Just 93 laps remaining, make it 92 as the scoreboard catches up. Got a lot of cars that are trapped 1 lap down. It starts from 8th place on back. Stephen Page, the first car, 1 lap down. Jamie Christensen, James McIntyre Jr., Charlie Widner, Dale Albright, and Todd Sargent, all 1 lap down. Then you've got Tommy Haynes, 2 laps down. Doug Lasaki, 3 laps down. Doug Hess, 5 laps down. Adam Pettit, 6 laps down. Trey Hoover, 13 laps down. AJ Hamill still on pit road, now showing 65 laps down. Bruce Potter, Al Smith, JJ Fluffy Garrett have decided to call it a night, and Wesley Whitfield has the DNS on the night as the pace car lights are off. Heading on down the back stretch, getting set, head into turns 3 and 4 and get these guys back under the green flag. That last run, the 00 of Jared Mogard, had a little something for the 24. We'll see if he can get there again. And as the 24 hits the loud pedal, and we are back under the green flag. Jared Mogard trying to hold on to second. McDuff with a good restart in third. Chris Stump being scored in 4th spot right now, so a little changing of the guards there as Stump falls 1 position on that restart. Mogard so far able to hold on to Dolan Tucker. Sparks will fly out of that 00 on that low side. Tire pressure is not quite built up yet, so just a little bit of rub there on the track. Tucker, your race leader, trying to get chased down by Jared Mogard. Mogard still holding on, Rick. He's only got about a 0.3 of a second gap to make up Dalton Tucker. And in the last run, he was able to hold on for a while. He was working that bottom line till he got loose. Oh, he just got loose again. Overcorrected, loose. Little snap loose out of Mogard in the 00. That opens that lead up a little bit more for Dalton Tucker. And McDuff running a nice line right now, being nice and smooth in that 20 car, trying to catch Mogard. about 4/10, maybe half a second up to the 00. Oh, the 28 gets into the wall. That's Calvin Allison. Slides up into the wall. Heavy damage to the right rear. As a result, Allison able to keep it going though. Chris Stump falling back to 5th spot after restarting here in 3rd place. Cole Sitter not having quite the race that he was expecting here. Caution on the track once again. This time it looks like it's the 17, Tommy Haynes. As we'll go back and see what happened. Whatever it was big because I saw smoke coming out from underneath that 17 machine. 17 letting it hang out on the outside. And just snaps loose into that inside retaining wall, back out on the track. The 95 doing a good job to get around. And 17's motor, Tommy Haynes, looks like it is ready and set to start up the barbecue.
Not good.
Burgers and steaks on order. I'll throw an ear of corn on there too, why not?
Sounds really good.
Maybe done tonight.
Making me hungry, man.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. Another guy there that's calling it quits here tonight, Trey Hubler, in the number 90, Chris. He was the gentleman that you saw as we were going through the field there, and you said that you saw a car either get really slow or do something. That was Trey in the 90, calling it quits here in Bristol tonight. Going to be finishing up in 18th position in that 90 machine.
24 laps down right now. And that 57 looking mean out there as it's coming down pit road. Adam Pettit's machine has seen better days. Well, good news for Tommy Haynes. He was able to get it on pit road, but Rick, we saw the smoke. I don't believe he's going to have a competitive car for the rest of the night.
Yeah, it's kind of hard there once that happens. Chris, the barbecue comes out.
A lot of action happening here so far tonight. But your race leader, Dalton Tucker, he's led 119 laps, make it 120 as they cross the start-finish line. He's having a hell of a night here tonight in that number 24. Top 8 drivers on the lead lap. It's Tucker, Mogard, McDuff, Chris Stump, Josh Mayhew, Matthew McLean, Jamie Christensen, and Calvin Allison. The last car on the lead lap, Allison on pit road. We saw him slip into the wall and may have picked up some damage that needed some addressing. But he is back out on track now.
And it looks like you're right, Chris, the 17, Tommy Haynes, calling it quits for the night.
Yeah, no real surprise there. Unfortunately, when you see that smoke, there's very little you can do on pit road, and the lap times here, you know, at just 15 seconds, that's a pretty tall order to come back from. 4 laps down already, so yeah, it's probably the right call here in Bristol. Pace car drops off the track, and the 24 looking to take it over once again. This time the 00 with a really good restart, holding on. And he is on the back bumper, the 24. And I do mean on the back bumper as Mogard stays down low, looking to try and get a fender in or something as they go side by side. Mogard trying to take the lead at the line. Jared Mogard, your race leader.
The 24 kind of stuck there on the outside, Chris. He was finally able to move through. I was just going to say the 98 of Chris Stump. Here he comes. And he's coming anyway. He is putting a lot of pressure there on the 24 from that outside lane. Now Stump saw Mogard able to do it. So he says, hey, what the heck?
The 98 puts his foot back on the floor, gets side by side with the 24 of Dolan Tucker. Chris Stump looking to take position, but it slides. Chris Stump going sideways and into the retaining wall. Takes it back off the track, tries to straighten it back out. As we stay under green, Chris Stump right now trying to get back under power as caution comes out. And may have been a little bit of a problem with the 9 car as well, as we saw him slow. So we're going to go back, try and figure it all out. So we're watching the 9 right now. That's Jamie Christensen. Oh, it happened ahead of him. The 26 and the 57 getting together. That's why the 9 was slow. And of course, before we even saw that, we saw the 98 of Chris Stump going around. He was battling for second spot. He was on the inside of the 24 and just got onto that accelerator pedal a little too early. Tires just worn enough, and round he went. So
he goes from battling second, or trying to take over second place with a battle, Chris, down to Stump end up there. He is in 8th position right now.
8th position on pit road. Jamie Christensen also on pit road right now. Both of those drivers on the lead lap. First driver 1 lap down. 10th place runner James McIntyre in the 81, who's bringing his car down pit road. There's a bunch of other cars that are also a lap down. So Mogard ends up taking the lead with a really good battle with Dalton Tucker. Tucker comes down pit road. Top 3 drivers, Mogard, McLean, and McDuff, staying out on track. They've only got about 10 laps on their tires. Dalton Tucker in 4th spot. Fresh set of tires for the 24 machine. So another caution, and this time with a couple of different things going on, we brought you all of that action. National Speed Association Killer Pro Series presented by V-Speed right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Thank you all for coming out and checking it out. It's been a pretty decent race here in Bristol. We're on lap 132, 133 when they cross the start-finish line. And Jared Mogard in the 00 is your race leader. Mogard deciding to stick out into the bottom lane for this restart as the pace car lights are off. Cars start folding in 2 by 2. Dalton Tucker in the 24, going to restart in 4th spot. He's led 122 laps of this event so far. Has a little work to do to try and get back up towards the front. This is as far back as the 24 has been all night long in 4th spot, so it'll be interesting to see what he does. And Mogard wasting no time at all. He takes off and he is gone. Mogard timed that one perfectly. The 88 of Matthew McLean trying to hold on to second. McDuff is battling it out with Dalton Tucker for 3rd. McDuff to the inside, Tucker to the outside. Tucker makes that pass clean, and here comes the 28 of Calvin Allison. Allison may have given the 20 just a little tap on the right front door, but Allison does work his way around, as does Josh Mayhew in the 02. Mayhew working the outside. McDuff trying to fight back on the inside. McDuff holding on through that dangerous corner 2 and able to hold on to the car but lose position as McDuff falls all the way back to 6th position.
And we got a battle here that just finished up there for 2nd place. Chris, Dalton Tucker able to get around McLean in that 88 machine. But man, there was a couple scary moments there as that was going on. I thought they were going to be bumping sides there, and we saw what happens if you do that here tonight. Dalton Tucker able to hang on, McLean able to hang on, so Tucker goes around McLean. McLean sitting in 2nd. Dalton Tucker moves up to 2nd with those fresh tires. It's not going to be long before he's right on that back bumper of the 00 Mogard.
Right now, Mogard defending the top lane. The 24 obviously faster at this point. And the 00 goes up to 24, peeks to the inside, has a fender, and can't make the pass. Mogard holding on. Again, Mogard trying to defend that outside lane. Knows the 24 is fast there. Has to kind of keep it where the 24 wants to be. If he can do that, he'll be able to keep the 24 of Dalton Tucker behind him. Mogard running a very clean line right now. Exactly what he needs to do. He cannot vary from that line at all. If he does, the 24 will have a shot to try and get around. 3rd place runner, Calvin Allison, going sideways coming onto the backstretch. Gathers it back up to get through the corner, and onto the front stretch he goes. But a little bit of a moment there for the 28. Back up front, Dalton Tucker taking a peek to the inside, the 00 holding that outside lane, and that keeps all the momentum in his corner through turns 1 and 2 now. Dalton Tucker starts to wind it up a little bit, almost side by side. Mogard battles back. Through 3 and 4, Mogard still has a slight advantage at the line. It is Mogard, and he stretches it out just a little bit heading into turns 1 and 2. Dalton Tucker battling back on the inside. The 24 not letting the 00 go. Dalton Tucker wants to get back out front, has to do it side by side here one more time, and it is still Mogard, Jared Mogard, battling really well on the outside line as we go under caution.
I don't see what that was for, Chris, to be honest with you. I was watching it jump to the 26. Saw him get into the wall a little bit, but
I gotta be honest, I'm not really seeing anything. Didn't see it on the scoring chart. This one may remain a mystery as we go back live. So after a round of pit stops, Dalton Tucker able to reassume the lead coming off from pit road. Jared Mogard in 2nd. Calvin Allison holding on to 3rd. Josh Mayhew 4th. Matt McLean. Nope. We're going to back that up a little bit. Chris Stump going to take over 5th spot. McLean looks like he's going to be in 6th position. Well, with all the cautions that are happening, at one point we had, 6 or 7 drivers that were on the lead lap, now up to the top 10. Dale Albright in the 26th, the last driver on the lead lap.
gotta get them lucky dogs.
Albright falls 1 lap down again as he comes down pit road to take service to his number 26. Adam Pettit out in front of the whole field in that beat up number 57. Pettit doing everything he can to try and get back as many laps as he can. Right now being scored 5 laps down to the race leader, the number 24 of Dalton Tucker. Jared Mogard in the 00, hanging on to 2nd. Allison Mayhew Stump, top 5. 52 laps to go as the race leader crosses the start-finish line here under caution. Adam Pettit takes off past the pace car as the lights go off, getting ready to bring these cars back under full song. Dalton Tucker opting to restart on the outside. And what we've been seeing is with fresh tires, that inside lane a little bit faster than the outside lane. Can Jared Mogard stay with the 24 long enough to put pressure on him? As the pace car drops off, waiting for the 24 to hit the loud pedal. He does, and so does Jared Mogard. Good restart off of Mogard, but not quite enough to put the pressure on the 24 into 1 and 2. He is on the back bumper on the backstretch, though.
Hey, this reminds me a lot of the last restart, Chris. I mean, Mogard doing a good job. He's making sure that he's not falling asleep at the wheel at that restart. He's able to get right up to that back bumper within a lap or two. And as we see it right now, he is pushing that inside lane, trying to get around that 24 as they head into turns 3 and 4.
Have to be very careful. Yes, you have grip because you have new tires, but don't overdrive it. You will spin. Be careful out there, Mogard.
And we're under caution.
Under caution once again. And I believe this time it was for the 95 Charlie Widner. We're going to go back and take a peek. 95 sitting on the outside. He's got the 1 of Stephen Page to the inside. And the 95 just loses it coming onto the front stretch. Doesn't hit anything, and nobody hits him. So Widner takes it sideways. As we are under caution one more time. I'm going to take a quick time out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming out to the Turn 3 Racing Network. You're watching the National Speed Association Killer Pro Series presented by V-Speed. We're going to be right back.
Lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkett goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Back live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, bringing you the National Speed Association Killer Pro Series presented by V-Speed. Pace car lights shutting off, and we are getting set to go back under the green flag. We've got 44 laps to go. Dalton Tucker having a dominating performance here tonight. Has led 133 laps of this event, this time deciding to restart on the inside just to be a little different than the last time. So Tucker giving up that outside lane, deciding to work the inside. The 88 of Matthew McLean running in third. James McIntyre Jr. in fourth. The 02 of Mayhew rounding out the top 5 as we get ready to go back under the green flag. The 24 waited just a little bit that time, stacking up the field just a little bit, and now Mogard in the 00 having trouble because the 88 of McLean right on his back bumper. Now McLean down to the inside, can't make a pass there, so the 00 of Mogard hanging on to the back bumper of the 24, Dalton Tucker. Tonight's pole sitter, Chris Stump, currently running in 10th position. He's the last car on the lead lap, is the 98. Mogard trying to make a little challenge to the 24. Didn't have enough grip to make it happen. Thinks better of it, falls back in line. Oh, Mogard hard into the wall, gets very tight and collects the wall. That is going to make some separation as we fall under caution one more time. This time it looks like it might be the 02 of Josh Mayhew. We're going to go back and take a peek. Mayhew in the 02 moves around the 81 and the 28. That's McIntyre and the 28 of Calvin Allison, and the 02 gets a little loose and gets collected up. 28 gets into the back bumper and finishes the job. And that brings out caution once again here from Bristol. Pit stops happening once again. This time, top 3 drivers staying out on track. Dalton Tucker, Matt McLean, and James McIntyre Jr. staying out on track. McDuff also staying out on track. He was just on pit road about 10 laps ago. He's got about 8 lap fresher tires than the top 3. Jared Mogard deciding to give up his second place run and falls back to 5th spot on pit road, but has 4 fresh tires. And we've seen where 18 laps is enough of a difference to make those new tires really work. And Mogard is going to be in a good solid position on this restart, restarting in 5th spot, bottom of the 3rd row.
Yeah, I don't think he has much to worry about, Chris. I mean, as you said, and with those fresh tires, those guys, I mean, yeah, okay, they got fresh tires too. You know, we're looking at Dalton Tucker. He's got 19 laps on those tires. Some of those are under caution. Not that big of an issue, but, you know, with those new tires, Mogard's going to be able to move up, and he's going to move up quick. I mean, it's going to take at least a lap, half a lap to get those things warmed up a little bit, and then they're going to start to stick, and he's going to go, but those tires ain't going to last forever, though. So it's going to be interesting to see. Those lights on the Porsche are off right now. We're getting ready to let the horses run here at Bristol under the lights. I'm looking at that track temperature. It is still on the warm side, which is kind of interesting being here under the lights, though. But that track temperature is hanging strong at 88 degrees, that air temperature at 84. But it's definitely helped out, I think. I mean, these guys finally getting used to it right now. We got Tommy Haynes in the 16th position. He has left the racing service. Trey Hubler, AJ Hamill, Bruce Potter, Al Smith Jr., JJ Fluffy Garrett, all packing it up, getting ready for next week. Wesley Whitfield never started the race here tonight. Doug Hess sitting there on pit road. He's been there for an extended amount of time. 61 laps down right now.
And the pace car lights are off.
Yeah.
Cars folded up 2 by 2, getting ready to go back under the green flag. So as Rick mentioned, a lot of the positions have changed just a little bit. Chris Stump has worked his way back up into 8th spot. Top 3 drivers, Tucker, McLean, McDuff, getting set for some action. And Don Tucker, with that early on control of the field, decides to go, and he is gone once again. Matthew McLean trying to hold on to second. Here comes McDuff in the 20, holding on to third. Mogard in the 00, trying to work the inside of the 20 machine of McDuff. Couldn't do it on the inside. Now he looks to the outside as McDuff dives down. Now it's crossover move here as 00 drops down to the bottom side. It really is amazing what the fresh tires does for these cars and the confidence level of the drivers. As 00 confident he can put it anywhere right now, and it's going to stick as he is working his way back up towards the front. Oh, we got a big one. Chris Stump was involved. A dead stop on track for the 98. As we go back and take a look, see what happened to Stump. So the 98 kind of just loses it. No contact there. Hard on the throttle, right rear, loses a little traction, and around he goes, bringing out another caution. Heavy damage this time to the 98. As we go back live, we see Chris Stump in pit road. Colin Tucker, your race leader when he came down pit road. Good battle for the lead off from pit road. Mogard picking up second spot, so getting a little bit of position out there. So it's going to be Tucker, Mogard, Allison. Top 3. Go ahead and thank everybody for coming out on a Monday night. You're watching the National Speed Association Killer Pro Series presented by V-Speed. We're here at Bristol, scheduled a lap distance of 200 laps for 103 miles. We've got 24 laps to go, and Dalton Tucker putting on a clinic here in Bristol. He's led 153 laps. Second place runner Jared Mogard has led 21. Chris Stump in the 98 has led 2. He was the pole sitter tonight, but did not lead the first lap. Pace car lights are off. Cars are folding in 2 by 2, getting ready to go back under the green flag once again. When they take the green flag, it'll be 22 laps to go. Seven drivers not going to finish this race tonight. Green flag in the air once again for Dallin Tucker, and Tucker with a great restart again. Jared Mogard trying to hold on to second spot, and will. He moves up in line. Justin McDuff into third. Calvin Allison trying to battle, can't quite stay there. Running in fourth position. Matt McLean in the 88, running in the top five, fifth spot. Next time by will be 20 laps to go. Oh, Mogard getting into the wall again. But able to keep it going straight and actually closes the gap a little bit on the 24. Oh, again for Mogard. This one a little bit more violent, scrubbing a little bit of speed there for the 00. Mogard pushing so hard. Car just not turning for him the way he needs it to. McDuff running in third. Calvin Allison was taking a peek to the inside, not able to get there, has to back way off as we are under caution. This time it looks like the 88 of Matthew McLean was involved. We'll go back and take a peek and see what happened. So watching the 88. He's definitely one of the drivers involved. He's following the 9. That's Jamie Christensen. See the 88 wiggling just a little bit into the corner, and around he goes, and then back out on track. Everybody else able to stay off from him. But I believe there was some more action going on than just that at a time. Maybe just a little further back. We'll go back here to Charlie Widner, 95. Oh, Doug Wasaki actually goes sideways on track. Well, back under the caution one more time here from Bristol with 14 laps to go. Napa knows how to get around this track. He's led 163 laps of this event so far. But he chose to stay out again. Top 4 drivers staying out on track. Make it 5. Tucker, McDuff, Christensen, McIntyre, and Stephen Page. Jared Mogard giving up his second place run to come down pit road, get service done. Not entirely sure how many cautions there's been tonight, but there's been quite a few.
I lost count myself.
As pace car lights are off once again, 12 laps to go, 11 when they cross the start-finish line to take the green. Your race leader, Dalton Tucker, takes the outside lane in his number 24, Justin McDuff in the 20 to the inside. The 81, James McIntyre Jr. holding on to the outside of the second row with Jamie Christensen on the inside. And Dalton Tucker takes off. And that may allow McIntyre on the outside to hang in for a chance at second spot. But the 20, Justin McDuff with a good restart.
And battle for third, Chris. Almost 3 wide there. Mogard working his way through. Holy cow.
Yeah, Mogard has fresh tires compared to everybody else here. He knows he's got to go. This is it. He's got to go. And he clears McDuff for second spot. And now Mogard has to try and chase down Dalton Tucker. Not an easy task. 0.5 of a second is the gap to the first place runner, Dalton Tucker, in the number 24. Does Mogard have enough time to get there? He is faster at this time than Dalton Tucker. Only by about 1/10 of a second per lap. And that's all it's going to take if he can just keep that speed and momentum. 0.3 of a second is the differential at the line. That gap starting to close a little bit more and a little bit more. You can almost feel the tension. And how hard Mogard is driving, trying to catch the 24 and try and make a pass. Mogard is faster at this time. The 00 trying for first spot is a faster car. And he gets to the back bumper of the 24. Makes a move to the inside. This is a pass for the lead. And Mogard unable to complete that pass. The 24 of Dalton Tucker holds him off for 1 lap. Mogard still on that bumper. He's trying for the outside. Now cuts it down to the inside. Here we go again. Side-by-side action into the corner. Mogard lets it float up. Oh, gets into the 24. Oh, no. They both go into the inside retaining wall. The 24 able to get back out on track. So does the 00. Justin McDuff takes over the race lead. That could be Justin McDuff's luckiest moment as he takes over the lead here. With 2 laps to go. Heading on to the backstretch now is the number 20. White flag in the air for Justin McDuff. James McIntyre running in second. Matthew McLean running third. Oh, I don't want to be a fly on the wall tonight, Rick, because I'm sure chat's getting ugly as Justin McDuff takes the checkered flag. So McDuff ends up leading 3 laps.
The 3 most of the real important one was that last one, but man, he was in the right place at the right time.
Able to take advantage of some aggressive driving between Mogard and Dalton Tucker. We're going to step away for just a moment, set up post-race interviews, and let Justin McDuff celebrate. And now that the celebrating is done, let's talk to the top 3. Finishing in 3rd place tonight, it's the driver of the number 88, Matthew McLean. Matt, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Got you loud and clear.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, it was a good race for you. The 88 had a little issues a couple of times there, but able to salvage a 3rd place finish tonight. And what a finish that was.
Yeah, this place is definitely all about survival, and I almost didn't survive it there with about 20 to go. I just made a dumb move and spun myself out, but we rallied back somehow, and I had a nice battle with Jimmy there for the 2nd place, but we were able to come home 3rd.
Yeah, it was a real good run for you, bud. Anybody on the 88 team that you need to thank for tonight?
Northern Pioneer Contractors for coming on board for the season. I got to thank James McIntyre Jr. for his help. Al Smith Jr., he does a lot as well. And Verge and NetSense, they do a lot. So I want to thank all of them.
All right, awesome. Congratulations once again to Matthew McLean, bringing it home in 3rd spot tonight.
Thank you.
And that was the driver of the 88. Now we talk to the driver of the number 81. It's James McIntyre Jr. James, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. You have a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing well, bud. Hey, listen, a 2nd place finish for the 81, and kind of out of nowhere because, well, we saw what happened, but good job finishing in 2nd spot tonight. You were really pouring it on here in the last 20 laps or so.
Yeah, thank you. It really was unexpected, to tell you the truth. I wasn't looking for it, but it's like Bristol. Anything can happen. It gets crazy here, and we'll take it.
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head, man. It gets crazy. It's like people pull into Bristol, unload the cars, drop their brain somewhere in the holler, and hit out on the track. So, but hey, you got through it. A 2nd place finish. Anybody on the 81 team you need to thank?
Yeah, I just want to thank Eddie's Meat Market and powered by Zamango. They're our sponsors on this car, and all of our teammates at Smith Racing. Matt's kind of helped me out with these cars. I don't have a lot of seat time in these cars, so he's kind of giving me some tips and tricks. So, yeah, just and you guys in the booth and everybody that puts us on.
All right, bud. Congratulations once again. Bring it home in 2nd spot.
Thank you.
And that was the driver of the number 81, James McIntyre Jr., and that leaves us but with one person to talk to tonight. It's your race winner, the driver of the number 20, the Arts Barbershop Toyota Camry, Justin McDuff. And Justin, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you. How you guys doing?
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you what, the last few laps were just about enough to give me a heart attack here. Talk about being in the right spot at the right time. You were there to capitalize on the situation. Did you have a chance if that didn't happen?
Absolutely not. I think I was at best probably a 5th place car. Then Chris had his issues and Calvin had his issues. And then that's kind of what I was hoping was going to happen. I stopped taking fuel and I got super tight. So those guys just drove off and away. And then once the 00 blew by me, I was like, oh, I'm kind of sitting in the perfect spot here. He's got the fresh tires, and I know Dalton's not going to make it easy on him. And then sure enough, they got together and I was able to scoot on by and hang on for the win.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome to watch, and you're absolutely right. Those two drivers getting together, you went right by, didn't even skip a heartbeat, and ended up taking the victory home with you tonight. And anybody on the 20 team, bud, that you need to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank my teammates, Chris Stump and AJ Hamill. Stump had a pretty solid run. I'm not sure where he ended up, but and Arts Barbershop. Love to rep Arts, and especially to get him a win. It's always fun. And the Cerebral Palsy Foundation is it's a cause I carry on all my cars, and it's near and dear to my heart. And special thanks to you guys. You guys do a great job with the broadcast.
All right, Justin, thank you very much for that. And congratulations once again, man, bringing that thing home 1st place tonight.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And that was the driver of the number 20, Justin McDuff. And we're going to go through the field here just real quick and go through the unofficial results. It was Justin McDuff as your race leader and winner here tonight in Bristol. James McIntyre, Matthew McLean, your top 3. Stephen Page, Calvin Allison rounding out the top 5. Then you've got Dalton Tucker and Jared Mogard. Those two battling it out for most of the night, and it finally got to them here towards the end of the race. In 8th position tonight, it's Jamie Christensen, Josh Mayhew ending up in 9th position. Charlie Widner with a top 10 finish in 10th position. Dale Albright, Todd Sargent, Doug Wasaki, Adam Pettit, and Chris Stump rounding out the top 15. Tommy Haynes, Doug Hess, Trey Hoovler, and A.J. Hamill, along with Bruce Potter, rounding out the top 20. Al Smith Jr. and Fluffy Garrett, the top 22. Wesley Whitfield did not take the green tonight. A DNS for him. And Rick, that is going to do it from Bristol, Tennessee here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back on the air tomorrow for our final Tuesday night with the Racing for a Cause Truck Series. Be sure to tune in right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network for more exciting action. Until then, have a good night.